This video is going to help you see how we're going to use Microsoft OneNote in our class. You may or may not be familiar with Microsoft OneNote. There's also a separate video on how to access your notebook for the first time, but I just wanted to show you kind of how it's going to work in our class. So if you've never been to Microsoft OneNote, you watch that video on how to access it for the first time. The nice part is the class notebook. It is a digital notebook for the whole class to store text, images, handwritten notes, attachments, links, voice, video, and more. There's students' notebooks, there's the content library, and this collaboration space. The content library is a read-only space. So that's where I put information in there that you can look at, you can copy it, but you can't write on it. The collaboration space is exactly what it's named, so everybody can collaborate there. I can also change permissions as to who can collaborate in which page. So we can use that, or you can use that if you create a study group. And you can contact me if you have questions about the collaboration space. The student notebook is the one where you're going to be focused the most. So on the student notebook, that is your private space that's shared just between yourself and me as the instructor. So that's where you can take notes, you can complete assignments, all of those kinds of things, and then you have that information. Now, if you like a different notebooking tool like GoodNotes or Notability or something like that, you're welcome to copy information to your own notebook. Um, Software that's separate from that. This is just where I'm able to push out information for you. And if it's your first time using a note-taking app or anything, especially on the iPad, Microsoft is an easy place to do it. And you can use it for all your classes as well. You can create different notebooks because we are part of Microsoft 365 and you have that free account. So, but let's look at our notebook. So when you go in, you can see that welcome, you can see some FAQs that can help you. And then you can see the collaboration space with some instructions on the collaboration space. The content library, again, that's where I put information in there. And then below that, you'll see a notebook with your name. I can see all the notebooks, but you'll just see your name. So where it says test student right here, that would be your name. And it's actually by last name, comma, first name, and it's by what's in the registrar, just so you know. Way over here on the left, these are all the notebooks I have. You probably won't have very many, but you can make more notebooks. This is a test course, so that's the one you can see. You can see which notebook you're in. But so if you go to, first of all, if you go to the content library, this is where I will have information for you. And again, you can't write on it, but you can use it. What I really want to focus this video on is the part under your name. Anything that's under your name or below, you can write on and you can change and you can do what you want. So unit one is proportional reasoning. And added a few pages. The student plan for success page will be populated later. You can have notes. Um, or you can have the readings here and you could highlight them. You can write, I love math. I know that's the first thing you're going to write. You can highlight. There's lots of other tools that you'll learn how to use throughout the semester, but feel free to experiment. Um, Another thing that you can do is more. And in another video, you can see how you can print a more assignment. But I've printed one here, hopefully. And I'm going to say print out. And so when you're doing your more assignment, you can actually do the calculations right here. So then if you have a question, you can ask it. So if I was going to do this problem, 9 plus 6, parentheses 1 plus 1. So if I was going to follow that, I can just write that right here. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then I have to do the multiplication first, 6 times 2. So I'm going to say 9 plus 12. And then I can say 9 plus 12 is 21. And then that's my answer. Now, I will have to have a separate window or a split view here so I could enter my answers in more, but you can see how that would work. So, but right now I just want to focus on the OneNote notebook. So, um, this part, each module, which is each week, you will have a reflection and assessment. So, and it explains to you what you need to do. Notice that it says this assignment is red, so it might take more than an hour to complete. And this is an assessment. So make sure that means it's going to go in a particular category and be worth more points. And it's a great way to get feedback. So you can complete it on paper or electronically, which is why I put it here in OneNote. So it's right here electronically for you to do. So it says write your answer to the first question, then read the math problem carefully, solve the question. And it definitely says there's no late submissions. So that 48-hour grace period does not apply to these assignments. So make sure you keep that in mind. So one of the things might be which resources did you use this week? Well, maybe, hopefully, you came to my office hour, right? Or maybe you got help from a friend, okay? And then write your reflection on those resources that you use. And your reflection needs to be in words. You can write it over here, you know, or you can write it down here, reflection. You could type it. So you just click right there, type text mode, and you can say, this week, office hours were great. I just needed a bit, and so on, or you could handwrite it, doesn't bother me at all, but you're going to write that. And then part two is the math problems, and it tells you how to do it. Notice there's not room right here to do it. I want you to do the work down here. So part two is the math, and I want all of your math to be handwritten. Sorry about that. So I want all your math to be handwritten. So if you notice, the first problem said, you solved a problem, and then they got an answer of 8. Is their answer correct, and why? So you can take this problem and work it out right here. And then once you're done with all of that and you answer all the questions, notice it says you need to submit it, but there's instructions on how to submit it via OneNote. So you can submit it right from here. It's literally the click of some buttons, and that's in a separate video that can totally help you. But I just wanted to show you how OneNote works, where you can access it, and you can add more pages if you want. Maybe you want to do some other work, maybe you want to take more notes, whatever it is. You can also add notebooks for your other classes. So Microsoft OneNote is a great tool. If you need help, reach out, and thanks for watching.